Hey everyone. Before we dive into this week's episode, I'd like to offer my sincere apologies for keeping y'all waiting. Many of you have been calling, texting, wondering if we're okay, or lying in a ditch somewhere, or worse. See, we've gone big boys now, fancy video on YouTube and everything, and as it turns out, editing looks a lot cooler in my head than it does at 2 a.m. sitting on a laptop, even though some of you think I'm a vampire and don't sleep at night. So you can blame me for this one. I hope you enjoy the episode anyway.
Welcome, you're listening to Passages. I'm Drew, and I've got Jason, Tim, and Patrick with me tonight. We're excited about episode 102, and we've got a lot of good stuff to get to this evening. First, I want to mention our sponsor, Riddle Creek Publishing.
Oh, hold on, Drew, before you get to that, can, hold on a second. Can we just talk about Miss Julie for a second?
Oh, absolutely.
This feels like a worthy sponsor spot.
And we need to get into those.
And we need to get into these cookies.
I was wondering why nobody had touched them. I wanted to do the big reveal.
Well, and we wanted to respect Miss Julie's love that she put into these.
Yes.
Which is the special ingredient that makes
these cookies
things
smell
so
good,
scrumptious.
so good.
I'm breaking my diet tonight,
And-
Julie.
And not only does she put love in here, she's very thoughtful to bring take-home bags
She
for
did.
us.
Oh, that is awesome.
So we get to take a little home, boys. And
She included the doggy bags.
she did. I'm just gonna take a few, and we'll pass them.
Tim's wonderful wife made me a pie, and I'm saving room for that.
We'll get to
I'll be
that in
eating
a
some
minute.
pie a little
I think
bit.
at the end of the last episode, we talked about my A1C.
I have some A1C problems, but
Right.
you know, you have to die of something.
Well, you've been doing good,
You've been
Jason.
doing
I have.
great.
I have been doing
you
good.
are farther.
I'm only going to
you're
have
down
this
at the-
plate.
You're down
That's
at the
all.
That's it.
After the plate, I'm done. No more.
Jason, it's me and you tonight. It sounds like
We'll be on a sugar high in
we
about
got
an
a
hour.
long way to go.
And if you watch the episode, we'll see how much the pile decreases.
To-go bags,
Right?
quitters.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of energy at the beginning
To-go
and at the
bags are for
end.
quitters.
Do we look
Comas.
like quitters?
No, not at all. All right. Well, let's
Where
get
was
to
I?
our.
Yeah. Will you
All right.
read that so I
Yeah.
can eat?
Yeah, while these two feed their faces. Looking for books that deepen faith and spark meaningful discussion, at Riddle Creek Publishing, we create biblically based study guides, Christian fiction, and youth resources to help teens and adults engage Scripture in fresh, practical ways. From adult Bible studies and teen lessons to publishing consultation, Riddle Creek is with you every step of your journey. Discover free downloads, podcasts, and more at riddlecreekpublishing.com. This ad is sponsored in memory of Mary Jane Kaiser, the founder of Riddle Creek Publishing. Also, I want to say that next week, at this recording, that would be February the 2nd through the 4th, 2026. Riddle Creek will be at the Freed Hardeman Lectures. We got a table there. So if you're in that area, you're a listener and you're in that area, please come by and say hi. We've got some new books. My dad's new book, I Want to Go to Heaven, is out. And we'll have that there at the table, as well as my novel that came out in October, Out of the Thicket, and all our old titles. We'll have everything there. And would love to just come. If you already got the books and you don't want to buy anything, you just want to say hi, love to see you at Freed Hardeman next week.
Drew, will the authors be signing the books?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
If you want that,
Of course.
we can sign the book. I've done that a few times. You're not coming and doing a Passages table this year?
You know, I didn't realize how close February 2nd to 4th
That's what
was
happens
when I
every
said
year.
that. Yeah. Maybe next year.
Every year we talk about it, and then February.
One day
just-
I'm setting up a Passages table there, even if it's just by myself, and I'm handing out stickers.
well, you won't be
'Cause
by yourself.
Everyone loves stickers.
Yeah, we'll have stickers at the Riddle Creek table.
Hmm.
A few.
How about coffee mugs? I used the coffee mug the other night. That is a very nice coffee mug.
I think we gave away all our coffee mugs at the book signing. We had about 20 when we started there and 0 when we left.
Can't have mine back.
All right. Can we do one more ad hoc? I'm gonna match Joel's $10.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
All right,
with Joel's $10.
Okay. I looked over at the stash and I noticed it was one $10 available.
I just
He
saw
went
you
over where
pick up
Joel's
Joel's
money was.
$10.
All right, what's
Now-
in the bag?
I've developed a new drink.
Oh no!
Oh my!
In
Does
one
it
is
smell
next
like
to me.
fish?
It does not.
Okay.
I went round and round about how to reveal this, and I decided just a sponsor spot because I can't keep a straight face with this.
Okay.
I would also like to give a shout out to my graphic designer, Belle.
All right.
She
That's what she was working
that's
on.
what
when
she
I
was
got
making
here.
in there.
Gotcha.
So I realized what this looks like. It is a brown paper
Yeah.
bag.
It looks like a brown paper sack. What?
But I would like to introduce to you guys
Patrick's lifeblood.
Patrick's Lifeblood.
And it looks like blood.
And well, I was if you remember the last week, everyone, I was recently accused of being a vampire.
Wow.
So have extra cups if you would like one.
Not to be outdone.
I'm not having any of Patrick's lifeblood.
Ooh,
Yeah,
looks like
that one's got high blood sugar. I can tell from here. It looked a little thick.
yeah, well, we had in graphic design, we
A
haven't gotten to
positive.
the
Yep.
what do they call those things?
Ingredients.
The
Do you-
ingredients.
Do you
and the-
think that this pairs well with chocolate chip cookies?
we're gonna find out? Here's to
Anything-
you, Joel.
Anything pairs well with Julie's chocolate chip cookies.
Hope it's
Oh,
not.
that-
Hope it's not chunky on the
It's the
bottom.
perfect.
like
It's the
Joel's
perfect
was.
temperature. About 98.6.
I think your canines just got a little
yeah,
larger.
It was.
I noticed that.
So yeah,
That's
Wow.
that's my sponsor spot.
and it doesn't make the room stink.
It does
which
not.
is even better.
It doesn't.
It's a good
Now,
one.
That is on the precipice of
It is.
that
It is. It is
With-
a little. It is a little thick in here. I mean,
if that is Patrick's lifeblood,
Mhm.
do vampires drink their own?
no.
No, you got it from someone else.
This is now become my lifeblood,
Oh, I see.
and
I guess we're
maybe it didn't always belong to me.
What explains why Amy looked really pale earlier
Not,
tonight.
oh, you've been bleeding her.
She looked really anemic when she walked in. I was like, I wonder what is up with her.
Oh me.
Well,
I feel like Joel has thrown us off the rails.
I'm just gonna put
This
this.
show is not the same as it was before he came.
Just gonna find a place to
different.
put this where it's on.
There's a
camera the whole
dividing
time.
line, a true dividing line there.
Yes.
Pre-Joel, post-Joel.
And it's not episode 100. It's not video.
Mm-mm.
It's fundamentally changed by the presence of Joel.
And we've now made $20 of advertisements.
No, we made that sound
Yeah,
$10
like
Yeah,
twice.
yeah.
10 times 2, 20. I'm doing the math.
All right. Well, to start us off with,
You know what really grinds my gears?
What is that, Patrick?
all right, I'm going to introduce a new spot here, and it's going to be a sub segment of what really grinds my gears.
Okay.
And I want to talk for just a minute about public bathrooms.
Mm,
I'm going to put on my seatbelt.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is going to get rough.
So I'm going to start with a story that kind of started my, I don't know, my hatred. Hatred's a strong word, but sometimes I don't understand public bathrooms. Why are they the way that they are? So here's the story. I was at the Pizzitz, the food hall, and went to the restroom there. And, went to the restroom, was washing my hands, and just, soap under the automatic
Faucet.
number one, Jason.
Okay, sorry. I just needed to know.
Under the automatic faucet. And sometimes you have a problem with those things. They won't catch.
Sometimes.
Oh,
every
time.
time.
yeah, just about every time.
So while I'm washing my hands, no problems with this one. A guy comes out of the back of the bathroom and comes up to wash his hands. And for reasons that will become important in a minute, it was a black guy. And so he doesn't wet his hands first. He soaps his hands up, and then he sticks his hands under. There's like 3 sinks. He sticks his hands under one of them, and it won't turn on. And he's doing the little dance of this, and he gets frustrated. He moves to the middle one next to me, and it won't go. And about this time, I back up to go get paper towels. He moves onto the other one, and it won't go. And I kind of turn around at this point and look at him, and he looks at me in the mirror. And he goes, "These things are the most racist things I've ever seen." So I walk back up there and I stick my hand back under it and it turns on immediately.
Yeah. Oh no.
Which was probably not a good look for me, but I got to sort of go in for him, and then I got out of there before anything else happened. So over the years, I've collected a few pictures of public bathrooms that
Oh wow.
Oh, I'm excited to see these.
and
Pictures that you've taken?
that I've taken. And so I'm going to show 2 tonight. Maybe I'll pull up some more later. I need to move this before I spill it.
Yeah, you were
Well,
We don't want to get blood.
gesturing a minute
mean,
ago
the
and
lifeblood everywhere.
really close to that cup.
and people do cry over spilt blood.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
Especially vampires.
So this is one in, I believe this one's in a restaurant called Ote's, as the Ote's thing. And I got a little confused in here because, well, I'll let you guys see anything weird about this bathroom?
There are 2 paper towel dispensers really close by.
Yep.
And a
The
sink
soap
that looks like a
dispenser is over
bath.
the toilet.
There is a soap dispenser over the toilet. That's
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
And then another sort of normally placed soap dispenser.
that's hand sanitizer, I would assume.
Well, I don't actually know.
Looks like it could be.
Let's see. Let's get over here to it.
Hand soap.
It says hand soap.
So what's the thing over the toilet?
So small.
Maybe that's one of those scent things. No,
No,
that's
it was a
that's
soap dispenser. I used it.
weird. Maybe that's what you're supposed to wipe the toilet seat down with.
It was soap though.
Oh,
I wouldn't-
now
I
the
got-
toilet, the tank looked a little deep.
I got so I got so curious about it that I also used its soap. It was just regular hand soap. But why put it there?
And
It's
how do you use
strange.
that handrail behind the toilet?
I
Are you
no idea.
you mean this number?
Well, or
Maybe you're just holding
Or-
on while you're getting the soap.
I've always heard that the most comfortable way to sit on the toilet is you sit
Oh.
facing the tank where you can put your head down
yeah.
on the tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have heard that before. I've never tried that yet.
Don't.
But that gives you that rail where you can kind of prop up. on.
Try it and report
You
back.
can feel the porcelain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
so,
so
cool.
All right, bathroom number 2 for tonight.
Oh, that's Chick-fil-A.
You guys know this one.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
A travesty.
this is one of my most favorite places to eat. It is my Guadalajara chicken, Tim, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand why somebody would do this in a bathroom. So let's
There's
just
multiple things
let's
wrong.
talk about
right?
it.
Break
for
it
a second.
down
Yeah,
for
let's talk
us.
about it for a second. First of all, it's an automatic faucet that shoots almost horizontally straight at you.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
you will walk out of there looking like
You
you,
will.
TT'd on
Yes.
yourself every time.
Also, it must have, I don't know, its own water heater, because if your hands are under it for more than just a couple of seconds, it gets hot quick.
Scalding hot.
I'll just go from
And there's
right
no
to left.
and there's no setting, so all you do is just
Correct.
turn it on,
Yeah,
right?
you don't
So-
get to control the temperature,
no.
but
Okay.
whoever is controlling the temperature, it's one
almost
temperature,
like it's
lava.
it's heated by their fryer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just go to the left here. Why put the paper towel dispenser right over the counter where you get like a 3-inch piece of I keep saying toilet paper. Paper towel.
And the problem is, if it does push out too much, now it's wet because someone always sprays water all over the
That's right.
countertop.
So in this example,
And it appears that it's also in the trash can.
yeah.
Yeah.
In this example, whoever tore it, because it's an awkward tear,
It is.
left a little flag on the end that's just sitting in water. That's on the counter.
Sink water.
Sink water. From
Gross
who
water.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows this? All right, so let's just go one more to the left. You see 2 soap dispensers.
But are they both?
But are they
soap?
both soap dispensers?
Nay, Patrick.
Nay. Nay.
So is this where the hand sanitizer comes into play?
Well, One of these is the hand sanitizer and one is hand soap.
You guess which?
Yeah.
They're not marked.
Oh, they're not
clearly.
marked.
They are marked in the smallest font they could possibly print.
Oh.
But why put them so close together, A, but why not flip the soap dispenser and the paper towel dispenser?
Well, because obviously you don't want soap on the countertop. It might get it
Clearly
clean.
not. It might. So more than once do I go in here and get hand sanitizer. And, you know, I mean, it's
Well, you're just going quick. You get your hands wet, you
Right.
stick it over there, and then you get hand sanitizer.
But okay, let's just be real. Hand sanitizer does not clean your hands.
No.
It might kill some bacteria.
Seals the dirt and
well,
grime onto your hands.
It might kill some bacteria, but where are those bacteria? Dead carcasses.
They're still on the hand.
They're on your hand.
Yeah, you
Oh,
got to
yes.
use soap and water.
Right. So it's not supposed to be really even in this setting, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
The hand
even if you're
sanitizer should be outside,
Right, in the-
where you
in a
walk in the
restaurant,
little
right?
vestibule into the bathroom. Yeah.
if at all.
And then
If
Is
at all.
that a COVID thing? Is it just
I
me, or
don't know.
did these start popping up next to the
I
soap
think
dispensers?
we saw a
after
lot
the
more of it
pandemic?
after COVID. I don't know if you're are you going to point out any other problems with this bathroom?
No, please go.
The little divider there.
Yeah.
The urinal is
Yep.
directly next to the sink, and there's
Too
not
close.
enough. There's not enough division there.
Yep.
I should not have to wash my hands next to this guy standing at the urinal. That's just weird. I don't like it. And if they begin talking to me, I have to flee
Oh.
the room.
I mean, unspoken rule of the men's bathroom. You don't talk in
No
there.
talking.
It's broken all the time. though.
Yeah, it
all
is.
the time.
I-
Not by me.
No talking to your neighbor. No talking on your phone.
Correct. Yeah. Awkward for no talking on your
Weird
phone while
that I
you're in
have
the
to say
stall.
that. Please no.
Yelling while you're in the stall.
Mhm.
I mean, if I could improve this bathroom, I would flip the sink to the left side at the very least
Mm-hmm.
and get rid of the hand sanitizer and flip the soap and the paper towels. I have many examples of these. I'm going to stop here because this is very triggering and I'm getting upset.
Eat a cookie. Eat a cookie.
That's right.
This is very un-Chick-fil-A like, right?
It really is. This does not scream my pleasure. Not
No,
even
it
a little
doesn't.
bit.
Mm-mm.
Nor is
Extreme-
it efficient.
I'm not going to say it. All right. That's all I got. I'll have more later.
All right.
So can I give y'all a little update on my weekend?
Lay it on
We've
us.
been waiting.
So we've had Ice-Mageddon again. Luckily, it missed us. But we traveled to Philadelphia, Mississippi for the rodeo finals for the SPRA, and it was the SPRF is what they called this, the Southern Professional Rodeo Finals. And great event. I think rodeo is my favorite form of sports entertainment. The people are kind. The people are great. I'm not throwing you a cookie. I'll miss. Have you seen me throw? I have to have a cutoff man to get it to you from here.
I'm gonna have to
my
grab
arm.
one of these
Tim
now.
will tell you. Old Doc's arm is not what it used to
Yeah,
be.
Drew, I don't know how you live in a house where these are created. I would not ever leave.
I'd weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But so the people are kind. It's just a big if you're looking for a sporting event to take your family to, find a rodeo. And I have an advertisement for one coming up. It's a great event. The rodeos start. If you get there early enough, there's a little Devo before. Then they have a prayer before the rodeo starts. Then, of course, we stand and we sing the national anthem along with the music. The flags, the veterans are honored. It's just a nice family event. Very patriotic event. So we were there for the finals because Sam works with the Jones family, who is Aubrey is his girlfriend, and they own and run a rodeo company, and he works with them. And so we went to support him, and because we like it, it's just a lot of fun. And I have two videos I brought tonight. The first was the entertainment that, and maybe you can fact check this. I don't know. This is monkeys riding on dogs, and this guy has been in Sports Illustrated. And if you are a former fan of the Rick and Bubba show, 20 years ago, maybe, there was a segment where they talked about this, monkeys riding dogs, but this was actually the guy, and I don't know if this was a licensing thing. He kept saying, monkeys riding border collies, because they're border collies that they're riding.
Oh.
But this guy that's doing this has been on Sports Illustrated. He's been on I think he said some of the late night shows. I'm not really sure, but I brought video for y'all to see this so that you can.
Yeah.
I think I sent y'all a picture of it while we were there.
Yeah.
So these are capuchin monkeys. There's 2 of them. There's 3 border collies. They're training one of the dogs. So there's only 2 monkeys riding border collies. These are white-throated capuchins. And it is quite entertaining as they're trying to round up these very well-trained sheep. Patrick, go ahead and hit us play. I got us 2 little clips here of these.
Wow.
Look at that guy get it right there. He's got chaps on.
Oh.
That is incredible. I love that they put a cape on him.
Here's the other one. Look at those little guys on
Oh,
those.
is he wearing chaps?
They do. They have on chaps.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, and they're hurting.
They're herding them, and they're going to herd them back
That
to
is
the thing in the
hilarious.
center.
As I mentioned, we'll prove from necessity to march this countryside to round up the animals. To feed the nation. Up, and over.
Now, those little guys, those dogs are getting it. And I saw at least 2 occasions where the dog loses it, rolls over, and the poor little monkey goes right with it. So
Oh, really?
I am not. So after watching this, and it was very entertaining, I saw it, I think, 2 nights while we were there. I think they did it 3 nights, but we only saw 2 of the nights. My observation is I could ride anything that you strap me down to. So this should actually be called maybe monkey strapped down to dogs.
Possibly.
Because he had to work to get them off. And I can understand you don't want them running around. But it was quite impressive to watch those little guys
the
work.
balance is still good.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think the dogs are doing the work.
the dogs are doing the
monkeys
herding.
are
The
there
monkeys
for
aren't
the
guiding them or
visual.
anything. But it is hilarious watching those little monkeys go. And after
this
the
is so
show,
funny.
he talks about them. At one point, he kind of gives a message about following your dreams. This was his dream. He's been doing this for 40 years. And while talking about following your dreams, he brought up one of my favorite songs and perhaps one of my favorite devotional topics, The Man in the Mirror. And he started quoting some of The Man in the Mirror while we were while he was out there talking.
Was he trying to make you change your ways?
Well, it starts with The Man in the Mirror, Tim.
So this was his
Yes, he
dream.
does.
That's what he said. And like
so
I said,
his mother
he
said, "Son, what do you want to be when you grow up?"
he kept
Mom,
saying that he was in.
I want to be a monkey trainer.
He said
I
he
Train
was
monkeys
in.
to ride dogs.
Every day.
He said he was in
Monkeys riding dogs.
Sports Illustrated. Monkeys riding. He said he was in February of Sports Illustrated. I'm not sure. Cowboy monkey performer.
Like this year.
That's what he said. But it was quite an interesting show, and I laughed, and it was really funny. It was good, clean entertainment.
I kind of hate that you told us about it and sent us a picture beforehand.
Oh, it
because
would have
the
been
shock
great.
of that.
They
Seeing it the
look
first
hilarious,
time.
and they're like they're so loose on it. It's just really
The
funny.
chaps
The chaps
just
are
so
hilarious.
great.
The cape flying in the very first
Yes.
video where it's flying behind him. It's so well done and well produced, and it was a big crowd favorite. The crowd,
I do
especially the
appreciate
kids, loved it.
Rawhide being played in the background.
Yes.
It's just a nice touch.
Now, how do you think it goes when he straps the monkeys down on the dog's back? I mean, do the monkeys comply every time?
I think they've been trained so because afterwards he unstrapped them and he was holding them and introducing them. One of them was 9 years old. The other one was 8 years old, I think, if I'm remembering right. He was giving a bunch of stats on them. But my fear is if they get loose, they might eat your face off.
Yeah, I was
Right.
wondering when they get to be teenagers, I know the chimpanzees.
Yeah, they'll
they
pull
get to
your
be
arms off.
teenagers.
Yeah. I
They
just
change.
hope, thankfully this was in Mississippi and
Yeah,
not
I think I
anywhere
saw
near
the-
South
I
Carolina.
think I saw a
'cause-
preview for a upcoming horror movie that's along those lines. It's like they raised this chimp or whatever, and then one night he just looks at him like, "Oh no!"
Teenage chimpanzee.
So while at the rodeo, I got as close as from me to Patrick from the rodeo clown and almost got my picture with him, but I chickened out. I could not pull that off.
You've got to face that fear, my friend.
Yeah. Well,
look at the darkness right in the eyes.
I've seen this guy at multiple events. I don't know him well. I've spoken to him when he's out of character, but in character, I couldn't talk to Bam Bam. Bam Bam had me a little nervous. I'm not, especially the last night when he was in all purple and his face paint. It just messed me up a little bit.
Are purple clowns worse than?
I don't know. He just had that Barney look too. It was like a cross between clown and Barney, and that's
Barney the dinosaur.
Yeah, I love you. You love me. We're a happy family.
Do you also have a Barney phobia?
Well, anybody in costume weirds me out. Yeah.
Oh,
but clowns are the worst.
So Halloween's your worst.
Oh, it's
day
awful.
Of the year.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, you know, in that movie, Elf, where he's doing the Jack in the Box and he jumps every time it opens. That's how I am when kids trick or treat at my house. I jump every time I open the door. Oh, aren't you cute, devil? Okay, so then I thought I needed y'all to see just some of the rodeos, some of the fails. And so in the second video, I start with how they start the show, and they put a lot of time and effort, and this is cool. The PBR does this. Of course, the PBR does it on a much bigger scale. We've seen them, but I tell you, for the Southeastern Professional Rodeo Association, this intro is pretty spectacular. It's video 2, if you can show it.
Philadelphia, Mississippi. On this Sunday night, Cowboys, Cowgirls will be crowned champions. Welcome to Saturday night.
It's all dark. It's perfect.
Just wait.
Whoa.
Homemade explosion, and then it lights the floor up to spell out SPRF. And from our seats, you couldn't see it very well, but then the fireworks go off. Now, this was night 3.
Now, I've been to one of these, and it was open air, but we're inside a building here.
Thank goodness, because it was cold outside.
Yeah.
But how's the smoke going to release? Will it?
It really,
be smoky for a
really
while, or
doesn't.
They do good.
Are you starting to hyperventilate, Tim, just thinking about it?
A little bit.
So pause it there for a second. So unfortunately, this is the final night. This is Saturday night of the rodeo. So this is about 7:30 in the evening. Well, there's a fear of ice. The night before, this place was packed out, pretty well sold out. This evening, there was a lot of empty seats. Now, the Friday morning rodeo, they bring in the school children from Philadelphia school system or the schools around there. And they had 2,500 kids, K through 6, in the arena for the show. And last year, I went to that. This year, I skipped it because it is the loudest bunch of screaming you have ever heard. And I couldn't abide with it. So what I have next are some of the examples of how riders are supposed to not do things.
Okay.
Some rodeo fails, if you will. Rodeo wrecks. Ricky Bobby is the name of the bull.
Oh. Is he either first or he's last?
And of course, they're playing Seven Nation Army, which is at every sporting event.
Yep. Probably more plays at sporting events than anywhere else. Here he goes. Now, how much would I have to pay you, Tim Layton, to get on the back of one of those? These are just wreck after wreck.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot.
But this kid almost makes the whistle. Oh, and he's off the whistle.
Yeah, that last little throw, though, hurt.
One of these guys face plants into the cow.
If he hangs on, even though he's not riding it anymore, does that count?
As long as your hand's on the rope and your other hand hadn't touched, you're good.
Oh, he didn't make it half a second.
Tim, how much would Jason have to pay you to be the guy in the barrel?
This is going to hurt, fellas.
Oh,
he was not okay. I mean, he just got headbutted. There's the rodeo clown in the barrel. You see why I avoided him. He's in pink that night.
Those
he was close.
Those rodeo clowns are very important in distracting.
But I love this stuff. Live,
Patrick,
it is just
I would
crazy.
do the barrel for less, but it'd still be alive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got stepped on.
Oh, man.
Now, I think the last one I have is one of the the bucking horses. I believe it's a saddle bronc. I'll have to watch and see. Yeah, this is one of no, that's a bareback horse. That horse actually won Horse of the Show, Horse of the Finals for that event.
Bucking.
And that one is that horse belongs to put the advertisement back up for a second. Belongs to Broken Arrow Rodeo Production. So they actually won 2 belt buckles for the event because they had the bucking horse and the saddle bronc of the finals, which was really a cool thing. And Sam got to get up and get his picture taken with him. But March 13th.
So Broken Arrow
is the rodeo company that the Jones family runs.
Okay,
so they were one of the stock contractors for the show. So this is the 7th annual rodeo out at the Odenville, St. Clair County Arena in Odenville, March 13th and 14th. We're actually going to be back from Peru on the 13th. So I will be there. I invite you to bring your families. Come watch a good, wholesome, family fun thing. It's great. It is. I'm trying to see. Oh, Bam Bam is going to be there. The clown that was at the finals is going to be there. It's a neat thing to watch.
That means there will be monkeys riding dogs.
No, not necessarily. No, the clown did not do monkeys. That was the entertainment for the finals.
You have to go to Philadelphia, Mississippi to see something like that.
Yeah. Gotcha. But I invite folks to come to that. The rodeos are a lot of fun. And if you want to see people doing things that look insane, the rodeos is there.
I went to this one 2 years ago, and it was a really good show.
I enjoy them. We have an absolute blast when we go. Now, neither of my boys, well, I guess Taylor technically was bucked off of a horse one time, landed, tore his shoulder up, had surgery, so he doesn't ride.
But not for competition.
No, that was just for fun.
In the backyard.
Yeah, he was just doing that to see what happened.
I mean, the horse thought it was a competition, but
Taylor did not.
And the horse won.
And Taylor did not stick the landing. Well, he did like a lawn dart. Right into the ground. So
bless him.
But anyway, that was my weekend. It was fun. We got no ice, which is a blessing because we had a family here from Mississippi tonight that is here because they have no power, no water, and they still have problems in Mississippi. They were north of where we were
again for another week or something like that.
But if you ever get a chance to go to a rodeo, enjoy the family fun because there's not many family-friendly athletic events, I think, that are out there much anymore. Now, some of the riders, some of them act like divas, but you get that in all sports. But neat time. All right.
Has Sam ever thought about?
Sam wants to learn. In fact, he was supposed
on the other side of the.
Sam wants to learn to rope. He wants to do team roping. I don't know that he'll ever get to that point. He wants to. It's a matter of trying to find time in his life to go and practice and learn. The boy can throw a rope pretty good, but throwing a rope when you're standing is a lot different from throwing a rope while the cow is running away from you and you're riding a horse.
And remind me, team roping, you're trying to get the front and the back.
Yeah, you've got a header and a heeler, and the header gets them by the horns, ropes them there, and then the heeler throws it under them to get their back feet. And the clock ends when you pull them tight, both ropes tight.
Sounds really difficult.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive to watch. I would not make them angry and then try to run away from them if they're on horseback with a rope. They'd catch me every time. In fact, Sam has caught me many times. The boys play where they try running towards each other and try to rope each other's feet to see who can trip each other. So it's a pretty interesting game. But if you ever get a chance to go, join me on March 13th and 14th in Odenville. It's a lot of fun.
All right, I've got a list tonight, and my list. I think we've talked about maybe some components of things that are on this list before, but this is a list of things that have vanished from school, right?
Education.
Right. We've
textbooks.
Number one.
We've talked a lot about just how things have changed maybe since we've been in school. It's been a minute for me. But I enjoyed this list. I'm not going to necessarily use everything that's on it because it's quite a long list, but the first one is, speaking of textbooks, Patrick, we're not going all the way to textbooks, but did you guys have book covers?
Yeah.
Brown paperback book covers?
We made them, right?
Yeah, so I
We
mean,
would make them.
making them was a little cooler than we had them that were like supplied by the local bank or something.
Really? No, I never
they
Yeah,
had
we
that.
had sponsored ones.
Right, they looked
that-
a lot like the paper bags. They were, I mean, they were like, sort of brownish,
Yeah.
and and made out of something.
Y'all must have
similar.
gone to them high money school
Yeah.
systems.
Mhm.
But
I remember ours had dotted lines where you fold here and tape here
right,
to
and then
cover the books.
along with
Who
that, you
made
would open
ours?
up the textbook and it would have the history of the book, right? Who had the book
Yes.
before you?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the signature and the date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
No, we had that.
The book would last for, in our day, 4 or 5 years, right? Before they would, they pretty much by the time you filled that list up, it was time for new books. But it was always cool to see who had your book before. The next one is cursive writing, right? Cursive writing is gone. And I think we've talked about that on occasion. I don't know that, it's the end of the world, but there's something,
Do we miss it?
there's something.
No, not at all.
There's something that's pretty cool about cursive writing. Just, to get a letter that's written in cursive is pretty cool. The only thing that I hate about cursive writing being gone is a signature. I mean, you at least need a signature, you need to be able to sign your name in cursive.
Yeah. Well, and I know people learn different ways, but some are tactile learners. I think I am. And taking notes, you can't print your notes out. You need cursive writing. You need some kind of shorthand. Even if you're printing, Jason.
Well,
You've got
Jason's
some
a doctor.
shorthand
You
to
don't
it.
need to be able to read anything he writes.
I don't use it. I'll have to pull out my notebook that I have over here and show you in a little while. But I take pretty good notes, and they're all print. Now
I
there's
guess
some little
Tim prints too.
I print. Yeah.
Okay, well, extract that whole comment. Forget it.
I also print.
It just seems like cursive would be faster.
I'm like,
Maybe we don't need cursive.
I've got so many notebooks full of your sermon notes handwritten in print.
Well, Tim's the one that brought up cursive. I was just trying to back my brother up here.
But I do like cursive writing. I like to see it. I think it's cool. And
could you make
but
all the
it's-
capital letters now in cursive if you had to sit down and write them all out?
Certainly if I write in cursive, I don't do them all correctly. I will do some, modified version. I'm not going to do the Q that looks like a 2.
Yeah. And the
all of
G,
those
the
kinds of
G
things.
was a weird. The
Yeah, it
G
sorta
was kind
loops
of a
up and
weird.
around.
Who sat down and worked all that out?
Yeah. that's a
This
good
is what a
question.
Q is going to look like.
Right.
Somebody did that.
Why pick
And
those
I feel like
shapes?
they just kind of did it in an afternoon. I don't think there was like a
and it became
test
law.
group or anything. I think he's just turned that into the Bureau of Weights and Standards or something. Said this is cursive,
This is it.
and he was so
Yeah.
confident in his
And they
presentation,
they
they
were
just
like-
went with it.
So
They're
let
like,
it be
"That's
said.
amazing."
So let it be done.
Got in
Yeah.
the
That was
textbooks
it.
and it was done.
Yeah.
The next thing that's gone is scholastic book orders. Where
Yep.
y'all did y'all
Is
participate?
that gone?
No, they still do them.
Do they do it?
It's different though. I think it's
You don't get that newspaper
Yeah.
thing anymore. It's
Right.
like a link or something you go
And then
online.
you had to like take
Tear
your
off the
little,
edge.
your little
yeah.
slip,
tear off
and your check. You take it with your
Yeah,
check
this
back
has
to
a-
school.
Yeah.
the
Boy, that's some
article
good
has
memory.
has the
Oh, yeah.
the check next paper clip to the book.
Get those choose your own adventure books.
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
and that
My
that
highlights
box,
magazine.
that box would come back into the classroom, and you knew, man, it is time. I'm about to,
At the end of the
get
day,
something
I'm
here.
getting my new Hardy Boys
Yeah,
book.
exactly. I'm going to get the next episode of Encyclopedia Brown.
So true.
All right. The next thing that's gone, I'm not sure this is gone because I think you can still purchase them, and I'm sure on Amazon, I'm sure you can. Trapper Keepers.
Oh, I loved my Trapper Keeper.
I didn't really. I don't know that I ever had a Trapper Keeper.
It had more Velcro than my cargo pants.
But I think certainly think they're cool.
Oh yeah.
Trapper Keeper was the 3-ring binder
Right.
inside of like a nylon with
And it
a
folded over, and the thing would fold over
because
the top.
we still buy the zipper ones. Does that count?
Yeah.
Or are we talking like the?
It's just
No, it's gotta
the
be
Trapper
the-
Keeper was very special in its design.
It had to have a Velcro flap that came over the top, and at least a superhero or my favorite pony.
Okay.
Either one.
That's
My
right.
Little Pony.
My Little
I
Pony.
wonder when
I
was
don't know.
that a thing?
My brother had that one. I'm not sure.
I would say 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
But I think that
Yeah,
they've made
it was 80s for
I do
sure.
think they've made a comeback. I think you can buy a Trapper Keeper today, I
Yeah.
believe.
Looks like 88 to 95 was the most popular time, and I'm trying to remember
And
because I was in elementary
and if
school.
you
during
had the
that.
original Trapper Keeper, like the branded one,
Right.
you were top dog.
Man.
Now, if you had the Kmart Keeper,
yeah,
you were still pretty cool, but it wasn't
But
as
it
cool
wasn't
as
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing on the list, I have some visual aids for straight from the Leighton attic, and it is metal lunch boxes. And so I've got a couple of metal lunch boxes that have stood the test of time for me. My headset is not. This one, I feel like I should have gotten beaten up for having this lunchbox.
Yeah, that surprises me.
It's a bit
Look at
nerdy,
that.
Tim.
But I
nerdy.
like it.
Teacher's kid, though.
I like it because here we are at the 250th anniversary of our country, and this was from 50 years ago. This was the bicentennial.
Oh, that's 76.
So back in 76,
Tim,
you know,
what is that very offensive character on the side, though? I would not turn it towards the camera.
No, we're not going to
Yeah,
turn that
yeah.
toward the camera. That is a Native American. All right, and so that's one of them.
You got Betsy Ross on there.
Yeah.
She's cut the stars out of her husband's shirt, and he's not happy about that.
This is a winner, and the more I think about it, I believe this belonged to my sister Kim, and this was a Peanuts lunchbox. So less likely to get beaten up for having a Peanuts lunchbox than a back in 76.
I bet you could get some money for that, though.
So
Yeah, that's got some value these days.
I don't think there's anything left.
Is the
in
thermos still in there? Because
I
it had
haven't
the
opened it,
matching
so
thermos,
This could be
didn't it?
scary. Let's see if
You're gonna open that up.
Oh, what if one of your mice that are in there?
Oh man,
Tim had that shoe off banging on the counter.
what if I can't ever close it again? All right, we'll deal with that later.
What is the back? What does the little sign say?
The
Psychiatric help.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So that was what Lucy was always
Yeah.
doing for Charlie Brown when she
Or
wasn't jerking
5
the ball
cents.
away
Yeah.
from him or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So there is a story of Miss Pullum when she was in kindergarten or first grade that somebody was picking on her, and she essentially took the kid's head off with her metal lunchbox and
Wow.
got the parents called in.
Maybe that's why they don't use them anymore. What do kids bring their lunches in now? Walmart sacks?
That's what Taylor did after the third
paper sacks.
lunchbox he lost.
yeah. We just use some zipper up nylon or polyester.
I bring mine
Lunch
in a
boxes.
Lululemon lunch bag
Oh,
or a Stanley bag. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that sort of goes along with this theme of the metal lunchbox is it probably came a little before this, but the thermos with the glass insert,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
which was a disaster inside a lunchbox, right? Because what's going to happen,
Especially with a
lunchbox?
kid.
A kid with a lunchbox is going to drop the lunchbox. Eventually, you're going to need to have it to slug somebody with, or something. And then all of a sudden, you get your thermos out and you hear that dreaded sound, cha-ching, 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 and the glass insert.
Not like the money cha-ching either.
No.
Like the rip your insides
My
out.
thermos
like-
has been
yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
I should not
And
even
so has
open it
my
up.
soup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just need to throw it away. But probably by the time of these lunch boxes, I think we had moved to a plastic thermos, a plastic insert in the
Mhm.
thermos, which was a major step forward to think about why would you create something that's that fragile?
They
for a
found out that the
thermos?
lead thermoses were killing people.
yeah. I bet that plastic wasn't BPA free.
Probably not.
You
They-
couldn't have
they
it in
don't-
California, I guarantee you that.
They don't let middle schoolers have access to microwaves
Mm-hmm.
because they tend to put things in a microwave that maybe you shouldn't.
Mhm.
So we have to heat up lunches at home and put them in. We put them in a small it's not really a thermos, but it's thermos like.
Yeah.
And I just imagine eating lukewarm food because there's no way it's piping hot by the time lunch rolls around 4 or
No
5
way.
hours later.
I don't know. They make some pretty good thermoses.
Yeah. These are just Amazon ones though. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Probably not. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
All right. The next two have to do with the library. So one of them is library checkout cards,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Where the the card came out of the book, and you know, you signed your name on it, and then you were bound to
It had the little,
bring that book
the
back.
librarian had the little stamp where they'd roll the date and stamp it.
Adjustable.
Absolutely.
That's
And
great.
then along with that, the card catalog.
Yep.
Right.
Dewey Decimal System.
Don't you know the
A-
Dewey Decimal
Absolutely.
System?
So, you know, of course, I'm sure a lot of that has moved to online capabilities, right,
Yeah.
for where all of that information is. But, you know, the Dewey Decimal System, right, you know, you had to know what was in the 100s through the 900s, right? To
And I think
we can
that's
find a
something
book.
else that somebody knocked out one afternoon. All right, my name's Dewey, and I'm just gonna tell you how to organize the library here.
And I'm not just going to use numbers. I'm going to have a decimal in it.
We're gonna put a decimal there, and that's gonna. What's a decimal for? Don't worry about it. Anyway.
And by the way,
you're
this is my
absolutely
first
right.
time stepping foot into a library.
Yeah.
So the Dewey Decimal System was all for nonfiction, right? And then just
No,
did it
I
have a
want to say
fiction
that
category?
800s were
for fiction.
fiction.
And I want
Okay.
to say periodicals were even involved in the
Oh,
Dewey
okay.
Decimal System,
Might
if
have
I
been.
remember right.
Right. The next one on the list
Fact
feels a
checking
little
that.
more like the Little House on the Prairie because it says hinged top desk.
Yeah.
I don't think did any of us have a hinged top
I
desk?
did
No,
not.
we had
No.
the cram it under the desk, the little metal
Yeah, little
tray underneath where you could
underneath.
cram it up under there.
You know, I started with the wood top that was sort of slanted and had the place for your pencil up there, and then we moved toward more of like a
The groove.
you know, a more basic like flat desk with maybe the wire things under it or something like that. But no Little House on the Prairie.
Mhm.
You know, I think
Get your
you know, sort of-
slate out
yeah,
and your piece of
yeah,
chalk.
no, that's a little too far back. This one, how about the mimeograph machine?
That's a little before my time, but I do remember
Is that
them.
the purple?
purple?
Oh, fifth grade, Mr. Adams. If you were a good student, you could go run copies
Right.
on the mimeograph.
So
with
yeah,
it,
you got to crank it. You had I mean, somehow there was the production of what you were copying, right?
Mhm.
That was the purple thing, and so basically, like every worksheet you had was purple.
Mhm.
Just,
And you would get
it
them
was a mess.
smelled
when
like
they
a-
were fresh. They were almost wet.
Smelled
to
like
texture.
ammonia too, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
they smelled
yeah,
funky.
it had a
yeah.
definite smell to it. Yeah.
Along those lines, was that the last one?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I
But
hope I'm not
go
skipping
ahead,
ahead. Scantrons. Remember those things?
Oh yeah.
He's so young. I remember in college when they started using them.
The first time I used a Scantron was probably in 9th, 10th, 11th grade, which would have been you in your freshman year in college.
I'm sure I used them for standardized tests in high school. But
Guys, I think the title of this segment was things that are no longer in school.
okay, they don't do Scantrons in school.
I don't know. Do they? I don't think they do. I think
haven't been to
everything's
school
on.
in
I will
30
tell you.
years.
I will tell you one place that they do, and that is in archery. So their scorecards are bubbles 1 through 10,
Okay.
and so
So a modified
now-
Scantron.
right. So they have a special Scantron for those cards, which
Mhm.
we don't have enough money on with the
It
Leeds
leads.
archery team. So we manually tabulate, but
Sounds like we need to get the
yeah.
Leeds archery team a sponsor.
we need to.
I'll tell you one thing about those Scantrons. You better not use a number 1 pencil,
No,
number
number
Oh,
3.
only.
If you don't use a number 2, you
Yep.
might as well not mark
and you
anything
better
on that
you
test.
better darken in the entire bubble.
Get that whole bubble.
Don't-
You know, our elections still kind of use a Scantron program,
do,
right?
yeah.
You can use a ballpoint pen at least.
It's weird, yeah.
While we're talking about number 2 pencils, though, can't beat the Ticonderoga.
Oh,
Cannot.
finest.
Finest ever made.
But
finest
I'm not
pen-
sure.
That's a good pencil.
Were
Patrick.
they available when we were in school? When did Ticonderoga come out? Because I agree, my children always had only
don't
the
know.
best for my kids. Only Ticonderoga. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Let's see. They started in the 1820s.
Mm,
Oh well, then Tim
yeah, I
definitely
think
used
so.
them from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
believe so.
Maybe they weren't just overtly called that, but nowadays that's all we
Yeah.
buy.
They're the best number 2
And we get
out
the
there.
pre-sharpened ones because there's something about the
Really?
way they sharpen them specifically. Incredible.
Were chalkboards before your time?
No,
No,
I use
we had
chalkboards
chalkboards.
Did y'all ever get sent out on eraser duty?
Yep.
Yep.
all the
Bang them
time.
together.
Bang them together?
I think that's why I have
Hey,
emphysema
Did you ever
now.
get your name put on the board?
Oh yeah,
Did you get a check mark
Taking
next
names.
to it?
I think there may be
me
check names.
never.
How many-
I was
how many-
never in trouble.
How many check marks?
You got to write some sentences.
How many? Yeah, there's a certain number that you go to the
I think
principal's
two
office.
two
or
was
three.
two was the number for us. If I remember, your name was the warning. Check
Yeah.
mark 1 was a note going home. Check mark 2, you're going
And
to
I
the
tell you
So-
what, there's no feeling like when that teacher goes silent and you look up and she's looking right at you and she doesn't say anything. She just turns around and writes your name on
We
it.
had clothespins in some kind of like
yeah,
stoplight
systems.
system.
Soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's soft.
Now, how about this? I had a teacher, and I want to say this was 6th grade, maybe, who would draw this giant set of lips on the chalkboard.
Oh.
And then she would take the eraser and fill them in with the chalk off the eraser. And if she caught you talking out of turn, you would have to go stand and put your face against the lips. And then
This is odd.
Yeah.
it was odd. It was awful. I had to do this
Why
a few
lips?
times because it was the mouth you were talking. And then
Okay.
she wouldn't let you wipe the chalk dust off your face because that was your red badge of courage that you had.
It's like a scarlet letter.
It was awful. It was
What do you think
awful.
would happen if that happened today?
I wonder why I've
man.
been traumatized
It
most
would've-
of my life.
It'd be on like
Go to
on
lunch.
down.
They yell at you as you go down the hallway. Go to lunch, fast talker.
Pink face.
Yes.
Loose lips.
Chalkhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Enjoy that dust on your cheek.
yeah. It was rough, but I remember that is one of my very vivid memories. Just the horror of
that's
knowing
really
I had to
strange.
go put my face
That's abuse.
against the chalk.
You were abused.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Did you guys receive the weekly reader?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Are you
yes.
kidding me? Yeah.
That's a
You
good
had
one.
to ask.
That's a good one. Overhead projectors. I believe we've
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
overheads
I've
before.
used overhead projectors here.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Because my time here predated PowerPoint, and before PowerPoint, it was overhead projectors.
Hey, even at UAB, when I was learning to do what I do now, one of the professors still used them.
Hey, some of them would write their
Did he
notes.
use the roll? Would he like write
He would.
roll?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He'd do that, and then he had transparencies he would lay up there.
In high school in math, Miss Grubb at school would use a overhead projector, and she had a box of clean transparencies, I think they called them, and a basket that had just she'd write, as she wouldn't use the chalkboard or a whiteboard, I think actually we had, but she would write on this overhead projector, and every transparency would go in here. And I always wondered if she cleaned them off or she just threw them away, because it always looked like she had an open box of clean ones that
Maybe the
That
bad,
stuff wasn't
maybe
cheap.
Maybe the
No.
bad kids had to clean the transparency.
maybe instead of
that'd be a good job for somebody.
yeah,
wouldn't
instead
it?
of beating out the erasers,
You had to
sitting
clean
there.
transparent.
This
Yeah.
article made a reference to the vis-a-vis or vis-a-vis
markers, yeah.
right? That I think that's the only
Like the
marker
wet
ever
erase?
used,
Uh-huh.
right?
The wetter- the-
But it was the special one. I mean,
Yeah.
for the overhead,
for the overheads,
right.
yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I remember.
And if the teacher was really cool, they had 4 colors. You had blue,
Mhm.
red, green, and was it yellow? Was that the other one? Yellow seems awful, maybe black. But I can remember Mr. Enlow, physics in high school. He had the pocket protector with all his vis-a-vis stuck down in him.
we're gonna do two, like the audio visual ones together, right? But one is the film strip projector.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Mm-mm.
y'all,
Nope.
no for you, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
but you had a cassette tape
Mhm.
probably that went with it, and yeah, so you were watching a film strip and it was going to be the boop, so that, somebody got the job of advancing the film strip. Yeah, so that
That's
was
how you did Jewel Miller studies too.
Oh, absolutely. The way you did
Home
Bible,
Bible
studies.
studies.
Absolutely. A lot of folks.
Slides.
You'd have to bring the screen
Yeah.
and the projector and the
And hope
film
that the people
strips.
had a power source.
And I remember us hanging a sheet up at the house,
Uh-huh.
right? To do the Joe Miller film strips.
Our teachers would have, like in the science classes, slide boxes, and they'd have the slide projector where they would draw it and
Yeah.
they'd click it to change
My
to the
dad
next
had
slide.
a slide projector.
Yeah.
Get those slides
Oh,
made after a vacation.
Did have a slide projector in some classes in middle
Oh,
school, I guess.
Really?
Yeah. Specifically, I remember science class, the cells,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the little round carousel with the little cardboard thing. Yeah,
Made a
drop it
lot
down
of
there.
racket.
Yeah, it did.
And you
Like-
could never get the slide carousel to sit right on it. It'd take
Yeah.
a while.
Pull down maps.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So you had to, fight those pull down maps. I thought about the pull down screen up here,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That we would use in them.
But you're
in-
talking
in the
about where
middle.
there'd be 3 or 4 maps on the same spool, right?
Yeah.
And you could.
You'd have the United States. You
Which
might
one I
have
want
Europe.
here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But any of those, you always had to deal with pulling it down and keeping it down,
Yeah.
versus it popping back
Yeah,
up.
there was a
and
trick to that one we used to have in the
Yeah.
auditorium.
So, along with the film strip projector, the other thing I didn't mention was the AV cart, right? So, the AV cart came later with the
Yeah.
VCR on it, and it's like, hey, it's going to be a big day in class.
You had that giant,
If we got the
giant
VCR.
tube TV. Like
It
it
was-
was,
it was ratchet
giant,
strapped.
but it was literally 35-inch TV.
and
But it was
and
huge for the
ratchet
time.
strapped to
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think these are used very much anymore. This article referred to geometry kits, but basically protractors and compasses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were always on the school list, but we never used them.
Except for to stab your
You had to
friend
buy-
with,
yeah,
with the
they're
compass.
Dangerous.
Yes.
And I've probably told y'all before, but we had the blackboard versions of them.
Yeah.
And so,
Like comically large.
right, exactly. And so,
It held
The-
chalk instead of a,
that was the way the teacher, would teach us how to bisect an angle, right? So we would, put the angle up and, go over and,
Yeah.
cross them
Yeah.
off and then hit them in the middle there and everything, and bisect the angle. So,
Hey, you knew you were in trouble when you walked into math or science class and your teacher had one of those chalk pins where they'd click the end
Oh,
of it
yeah.
and the chalk would fall off the end. So instead of holding the actual
Yeah,
stick
it's a
of chalk to
holder.
write on the board, they would hold that chalk pen looking thing and write.
the last one on the list, it predates me, Jason, but I had
Light.
I have I have one, but I couldn't find it. I was trying to find it this afternoon because I think Zeke Bixler gave it to me, and that's a slide rule.
Yeah.
And so never used one,
I've heard about them.
Sent men to the moon with those.
but really cool.
Or
and
did
so
we?
there's some process of
Jason,
sliding it up
don't.
and down to do. I think
No.
to do multiplication and division or whatever. So anyhow,
Back to the
last one.
Go ahead.
Dodgeball.
Yes. Yeah.
And specifically the use of the red textured.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dodge
Leave an
ball.
Like the
imprint
like
on
the
your
kickball.
face.
Yeah.
Not the foam. It was it had air in
No.
it.
So much fun.
Yep.
Right.
Dodgeball is so fun.
All those games you played in school, because you'd play that, you'd play Red Rover. You remember where
Yep.
you'd run the
Yeah.
kid and they tried to break through?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some
Just
of those
about
that
break your
you'd
arm
kill
trying
each
to-
other playing those
Send
games.
Jason right over.
And boom,
Yeah.
I'd always get through that line. There was no
Yeah.
stopping me.
All right. There's
was
my
like,
list. Things,
fellas. Come on back.
things that are no longer in school.
Dewey Decimal System fact checked real quick.
Yeah.
I believe there was a request for that.
Yes.
It looked like the 800s were for fiction.
Okay.
Everything else was for not fiction.
Okay.
There were 10.
Drew got it right. 800
Yeah.
for fiction. Good job.
There were 10 of them from
Sounds like
computer science to
playing
history and
Jeopardy.
geography. Religion was 200.
Was
So-
900 biographies?
No.
That sounds
Um,
right.
Oh, I wanted to be
I guess
right.
that'd be like
History
around
and
history.
geography. Maybe it's lumped into history, I guess.
Maybe.
Computer science, philosophy and psychology, religion, social sciences, language, pure science, technology, arts and recreation, literature, including nonfiction, and then history and geography from 0 to 900.
Wow. And the computer science section was like,
Yeah,
it was like one
Right.
card.
right.
Yeah. Maybe this will work.
The future.
It was an Orson Welles book. That's all it was.
That's a pretty good segue into what I was wanting to talk about. We're going to do a little AI apocalypse tonight.
All
We talk about
right.
AI a lot, but I think it's something we need to discuss because we are in uncharted territory and we're moving quickly through it. So I have a number of stories here And I know we've been going a while here, so I won't take too long on these, but just to kind of get us warmed up, the first one involves Matthew McConaughey. He has trademarked his famous line from the very first movie he was in, Dazed and Confused. I think this is the first thing he's ever said on camera. And let's just hear.
Keep talking for a second.
Okay. So it was Richard Linklater's 1993 comedy classic, Dazed and Confused. And he's, you know, when you think of Matthew McConaughey, this is what you think of.
All right, all right, all right.
That's it.
All right,
Apparently-
all right.
Apparently that was ad-libbed and not in the script, and they decided to keep it. But
Since it's trademarked, are we now going to get shut down?
I wondered that. I don't think so.
Let's find out.
He
We're
trademarked
gonna.
the phrase and 7 other properties tied to his likeness in an effort to protect against AI misuse. They call it a sound mark. It's the trademark registration for an audio clip, and you file it with the Patent and Trademark Office. The mark consists of a man saying, all right, all right, all right, wherein the first syllable of the first 2 words is at a lower pitch than the second syllable, and the first syllable of the last word is at a higher pitch than the second syllable. Maybe we need to hear that again. Can you play that again?
I think it's really funny how specific it has to be.
Yes.
Because otherwise,
All right, all right, all right.
yeah.
So the first syllable of the first 2 words is lower than the second syllable. The last word, the first syllable is at a higher pitch than the second.
All right, all right, all right.
All right. That's
Do you-
very
Do you
specific.
hear it?
So you can say, all right. Well, they had to do that, though.
Yep,
If
they're
they
tearing this
didn't-
video down.
If they didn't do that, then every time you say all right 3 times,
Yeah,
you get
you-
sued.
Well, it's
Oh, no.
it's kind of like Happy Birthday. It's
You got-
copyrighted.
You got any money?
Or
Are they
used to
going
be.
to take our $11?
They might.
Well,
They might.
and this is to protect against them using his voice and his
Yeah.
image
Yeah.
for AI.
It definitely depends
It's
on
not
him.
for what we're doing.
It definitely depends on him defending the mark. You can have a patent or a trademark, but if you don't defend it, you lose the mark.
Mhm.
And so if he defends it in any way, then he maintains legal ownership of it. But he would only defend it if somebody tried to use it, like his voice for, in an AI.
For a commercial or something.
This makes me think of James Earl Jones. I do believe gave the rights to his voice to Darth Vader, to the Star Wars, or I guess Disney now, so they can, even though he's now dead, they can still make Darth Vader
Sound
voices.
like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second story has to do with Bandcamp, which is not the actual Bandcamp, but an app called Bandcamp. It's announced it will no longer allow AI-generated music to be hosted on its platform. Any use of AI tools to impersonate other artists or styles is prohibited. Apparently, people were making, and you can do this pretty easily. You can make a whole song within seconds that sounds like a particular artist with a whole band behind it. I mean, everybody by now has heard examples of this. And Bandcamp is supposed to be a place where amateurs can put their music up and get exposure, and it's just becoming saturated with AI-generated music. So they took the bull by the horns and prohibited that kind of thing. Now, that's just a warm-up. I want to play this video for you. This is Yuval Noah Harari. I don't know if you're familiar with this guy. He is celebrated as a great thinker in our time. I got his book, Sapiens, which is about human history, and he's very atheistic. He talks of religion as a myth and looks at man's religious inclination, which can't be denied. I mean, every civilization has been religious. Well, he says that's just an evolutionary thing, evolutionary mechanism. We developed it because religion is safer than non-religion. It's been a while since I didn't get through the whole book, but that's where he's coming from. And you'll hear some of that here in his very scary predictions about AI. He did this at the Davos conference that all the politicians were at last week. This is pretty fresh, and I don't know what that conference is all about because you got Trump up there giving political speech. You have things like this. This is what part of his prediction about AI. His whole thing was on AI, and I just pulled a part that I thought would concern us most. So go ahead and play that.
Do you know? As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI?
There's so many different ways we can go with this. I don't like what he's saying because it's very, very dire prediction for me. Yeah, it might be time to put the
just
hat
in
on.
case AI is
Foil
listening.
hat.
There's a lot of words in here.
So laws, books, and religion all will be taken over by AI. I don't think he spells this out later, but it sounds like, we're going to be worshiping according to priests, is what he's saying. Now he's a man who doesn't seem religious, so maybe this is why he doesn't understand the need for human beings in churches, for example. But you could always, so a church that I know about one time had a series on Wednesday nights where they played videos of preachers from the past.
Okay.
And so everybody just sat and watched the TV of some guy preaching 50 years ago, and that was their summer series. Now, as you could probably guess, it didn't go over too well because those men were not in the room with them. They were not even alive at the time, and they didn't know what that audience was going through at the moment. And so when I was in school, I learned that preachers are important because you're a dying man speaking to dying people. And that's why God could have delivered the information in lots of ways, but he wants to send preachers. And that's one of the thoughts I had about it. You can't replace it.
Do our authority come from the words in the book, or does the authority come from God, who is the living word, or at least Jesus that's the living? Because he said our authority, the man's authority, the authority is in the book. It's in the words.
Mm. Well, this is what we do. We depersonalize the word. And that's why people have so much trouble with the Spirit these days, and understanding the Spirit is because they strip the Spirit out of the word and try to separate him from the word that came from him. And the Bible's constantly saying the Spirit teaches you, and this is God's word, and this is inspiration, which means God breathed. And, teachers are called spirits in 1 John 4:1. Believe not every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they're from God. Why is he talking about teachers as spirits? Because in ancient times, they didn't remove the personality from the word. You were supposed to look at it as not something that was generated by a computer that just lays one word after the other, as Patrick's explanation of AI comforts me because he's like, he takes the myth out of it and the fear out of it. And he's like, this is just a model that what predicts is really good at choosing the next word that ought to come.
Yeah.
And that's what it's doing.
Right. You know, his whole premise about religion just being about books is flawed because religion is about how God's word, how it aligns with people, right? And that gets to the point you were saying, you know, what does a preacher do, right? The preacher understands what's the congregation going through, what are the challenges of the day, and you know, I'm sure you could inject some of that into, you know, documentation and pop out, you know, here's a sermon, but there will always be the human element.
Yeah.
And as powerful as these computers are, and as amazing in the things that they can pop out, you know, things like discernment are never going to be something that they're able to do.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, and the authority is, getting back to Jason's thoughts, the word is our authority. But it comes from God.
It's
And
because
it's not just
God inspired it.
letters
That's
on a
where
page.
that's where the authority comes from.
And every word represents an idea, and ideas come from spirits. Spirits reside in God or people.
Well, and what he said about that we can never remember all the words of the books, but AI can. Well, AI can recall the words of the books, but AI can't understand
Model
the
them.
feeling of it. It can't. There I am giving it a pronoun. It can't. AI cannot. Well, discern. That's the word. The word you used. I think that's a good word. Yeah, it can recall. It's just recalling data.
Yeah, it's not modeling the behavior.
No, and it's not feeling what the words are saying.
You know, Paul told Timothy part of his job was to set an example.
Yep.
So preach and live what you're preaching. So, did everybody see what Patrick put
like
up there?
that.
This makes me think in 1970, I think 9, IBM put out an internal training document as, I don't know what computers were like in 79. Were they beyond the punch cards?
Don't look at me.
I was born in 79, so I don't know.
79. No,
Were they-
not past punch.
Not past punch
cards.
cards. Well, on one page in this training booklet or manual that I always think about when I'm talking about this particular topic of will AI take over or whatever. Sure, Skynet's probably in humanity's future somewhere, but the quote is a computer can never be held accountable, therefore a computer must never make a management decision. So I mean, back to what was that guy's name? Say his name.
Yuval Noah Harari.
Okay, so back to what that guy was saying. I mean, yeah, AI, at least AI that as we know it today, and it'll, you know, it's going to get better and better, and I say better, it's going to get more advanced. You know, the hope for general humanity is that this remains true as as sort of a law of computers, that you don't let it make decisions that it ought not to be making.
Yeah.
But it is starting to make decisions, because on the way over here, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about an online service now that will, I don't think it actually does the initial prescription, but it will review your medications and refill your medications, and it's all AI driven.
But it's refilling one that's already been prescribed.
For now, but
Yeah,
there is
it's not
coming a
issuing
time.
prescription.
Yeah. I know there's been some research done comparing the accuracy between, like, you plug in a group of symptoms into AI and plug it into a group of docs and let the two and see who's the most accurate on what it is.
Right.
It's pretty scary how close they are. So we're not far from them making management decisions. And there probably are in some
hopefully
industry.
it's more of a recommendation though, and it's not going to say, well, you have these symptoms, we're going to do this thing, and nobody reviews it.
I bet we're headed there.
I bet we are too. I hope that I'm long gone by the time.
I don't see that happening. But who am I to?
I think there's a difference in a computer making a decision based on a set of conditions. Based on a set of conditions. In your case, okay, patient has 7 refills left on a statin. They've gone 30 days. It's time for a new refill. That's not really. I don't think that's really a decision as a condition. And I mean, my Publix app here tells me when it's time for a refill. That's not really a decision that it's making. It's more of a reminder, and maybe it's taking one step further of, I'm going to go ahead and fill that. Doesn't mean you got to go get it though.
But there's coming a time where you call Teladoc and you're talking to AI and you're saying, these are my symptoms, and AI is making a prediction of what you have and it's writing that prescription. That will happen in the next 5 years.
I have a conspiracy on this.
And it's probably just as good as the doc you're getting on online or whatever.
It is. It's just terrifying that you think that we're going to turn
personal anyway.
No, but you think that we're going to be turning over some of these things, even religious commentary, religious thought. I mean, you now search a Bible-based question. What's the first thing that pops up is the AI-generated summary answers. And it's just, and people will read those
on what other people have already written.
It is, but people will read that as gospel truth.
And then
that's the problem.
Yeah, and then they won't go any further.
It's what they put into it. Yeah. Well, I wanted to end this on a positive note. So I want to go back to the interview with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Joe Rogan. I found this. When Affleck started talking about AI, he was asked some questions about it. He had the kind of attitude toward it that I think we should have. You said people are going to look at it as perfect. He just looks at it as a tool. And I just wanted to read some of the things that he said. He said, with regard to using it in movies and what its impact on Hollywood would be, he said, it's a useful tool if you're a writer and you're going, I'm trying to set something up where somebody sends someone a letter, and it can give you some examples of that. So busy work, like I need a letter really quick. Well, it can give you a letter. But he said, I actually don't think it's very likely that it's going to be able to write anything meaningful or that it's going to be making movies from whole cloth. He said it's going to be a tool, just like visual effects, and it needs to have language around it. You need to protect your name and likeness, which is what Matthew McConaughey was doing. You can do that. You can watermark it. Those laws already exist. And then he gave an example of shooting a scene at the North Pole. He said instead of actually going to the North Pole, AI's ability to transport it to the studio could be a massive help. It can save us a lot of money, a lot of time. We're going to focus on the performances and not be freezing out there and running back inside. He said that's useful. And I could see that. I like things shot on location, and older movies, which I know Jason and Patrick don't watch, but the older movies that were shot totally in the studio and you just have a background.
I don't watch older Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
I like older movies.
Well, you know, the old Western, you've watched a lot of Western, you know, the old Westerns where you can tell the scene is painted behind you.
Yeah, and it's moving.
They did the whole thing on a soundstage.
Yeah.
I like things shot on location, but AI can look like that and save money.
Yeah. I know who Jimmy Stewart is.
Okay. Well, good. Everybody needs to know who he is. He's got a biopic coming out this year, I think. So you can go to a new movie and learn about an old actor. Yeah. See how they used to do it.
I think
but I like the attitude. Yeah. There's no fear there. It's like, hey, this is evolving. I'm going to evolve with it. We're going to use it as a tool, but it's not going to replace human beings.
Yeah, I use it a lot at work, ChatGPT and others, to summarize documents or to write a first draft of something. That's the hardest part for me on writing anything. And part of why I'm not a writer of any caliber, much less like a paper in college, is because I don't know how to start them. I don't know how to get started. And so AI is really nice because I can say, hey, I need to write, a draft policy for X, Y, and Z, and it spits out a pretty good one. And then, of course, you've got to edit it, and you got to make sure that it's not saying something that's not right or whatever. And even if you get it to summarize something, you still got to know your source material and your to compare it to your summary. But getting it to spit, if you're reviewing a contract, getting it to spit out hey, what are the biggest risks in this contract? Does a pretty decent job, but it's not making decisions.
Yeah.
You're just bypassing your self-doubt and self-loathing.
Yes.
Is all you're doing when you use it. Because you do know how to start a letter or whatever it is.
Well,
you just won't.
Dear,
time.
yeah.
You freeze up at a blank page because you don't trust your instincts. But that's okay if it helps you get over that. What's the big deal?
Of the one class I failed in college, it was a research
And
writing class.
That teacher scarred you for life.
He was.
I blame the teacher, Patrick.
It was awful.
Before we leave this about AI, I saw a news story today where I don't know, I didn't stop to listen to the detailed story, but there was a witness in court who, I don't know if they feared for their life or whatever, or if they were far away, but basically they sent in their recorded testimony, and it turned out that someone had used AI and
to alter it,
to alter it, and so it wasn't really that person speaking.
Right.
And when they showed it, it was almost
a deep fake.
It was a little bit comical, right? Because you can see the it looked like one of those you might see on Conan or something. I mean, it was pretty lame, but the better that gets, and they showed the judge who made some comment that's going to change some rules, right? Maybe I don't
be in person more,
right? And so just because you're on a Zoom call, am I sure that's you?
Yep. That kind of stuff is getting to be really good these days,
right? And so I think that it's going to modify the rules in a lot of ways, but what is it? I was trying to do some finds. Help me with the verse that talks about how the learning of man can turn into foolishness, basically, right? I mean,
there's probably a lot of Proverbs on that, although Proverbs really emphasizes the importance of knowledge
but basically it's just that idea of,
it was a criticism, but one thing comes to mind is when Paul was told much learning has made you mad, but that was a false accusation.
But it's just the fact that I think if we lean too much on these tools, because just like Patrick, I mean, we're beginning to use these tools a lot in our workplace. They're productivity boosters in some ways. We talk a lot at our work, and I'm sure Patrick probably does too, about building these bots and things that do repetitive tasks, and but all of those things are around things that can be wrote. You can throw some rules into, and it does things that it does it quicker than you can do it. But when it comes to decision making, I mean, I think that's the thing that gets real dangerous, right? And that applies to all of us, from whether we're writing something that we're going to call our own, because last week I did the Guadalajara car wash ad. I didn't change a thing.
Yep.
I was like, that's cool. I'm going to say that. Right.
But you came up with the name Guadalajara car wash.
I did come up with Guadalajara car wash.
All right.
I think you got
that was the best part of that.
But I think the part of this that's always important is, do you get this out, analyze it, make it yours, ensure accuracy, all of those kinds of things.
I think that's the hard part, though, because students growing up with this are not going to have to go crack a book.
Right.
they can type a question, a poorly worded question, and it's going to return something. It's not ever going to say, "Hey, I don't understand what you're asking for." It's going to spit something out.
Right.
And I mean, you see stories, or well, if you just kind of goof off on social media, you see stories about college students turning in papers, and in the paper is part of their prompt where it says something like
insert name here or something.
Yeah,
right?
and it's very clearly it's very
If you would like me to be more specific,
right,
please.
Yeah, because they copy and paste the whole thing, and it always asks you questions at the end.
It does.
Because
what would you like me to do next?
Right, exactly. And they include that in their paper.
Right.
Or you were talking about court. There was a lawyer who wrote a brief and submitted it and didn't fact check it or probably read it at all, because two things that the court found after reviewing the brief. One, found those prompts in it. Hey, that I just gave you a summary of this case. Would you like me to go more in depth? And it was wrong. It was factually wrong as the law is applied. Yeah. And so that guy got disbarred. I mean, as he should have, because he just was.
Well, because it's a form of plagiarism, essentially.
Well, and you're walking in there misrepresenting the law, which is sort of not the law. But my point is I think this is going to ultimately make some people lazy. I think some people are going to use it appropriately, and they're going to exponentially increase their productivity in some way. An example of that will be software developers. They can have AI write snippets of code that might need a little tweaking, but that developer didn't have to go do the research on these functions and string them together just so. The AI did most of the work, but you got to know what you're doing to make it, to kind of finish it up.
Right.
Or it's going to make people really lazy, like when they're writing papers and they're not actually going to do the research, and they're going to take what it says as factually correct and do no further research. And that, I think, is going to mess a bunch of people up.
Right. So I think that when it comes to like software developers, I mean, one of the questions is, if you were starting today, would you be a software developer? I'm not sure I would, because of AI, and because the fact that, before we turn around, one software developer might be able to do what 100 software developers did before. Just because, literally, you can say, here's the language, here's what I need it to do, and something that would have taken somebody a week to write, poof.
Yeah, and in something like code like that, it's writing what it's written in. So it might be more adept and better suited to do that. And just watching the developers at work, they've just gotten so much more use out of it than I think folks like me who just use it for grammatical stuff.
Right. And their use now, they're becoming more of, and this is another term we use in the IT world, right? But they're more of architects.
Yeah.
Right. They are literally architecting this and building it and putting it together and making sure that it works. And if they didn't ask the right questions, they're refining their questions and their requirements into it. But all of this is just so super interesting. Yeah. Feels sort of science fiction-y sometimes. You think about, people using it for good and people using it for evil, and
and Jason, just to correct something you said earlier, I think the T800 had emotions.
I'm not sure.
I think it
that
did.
Davos.
I think at the end it had emotions.
That Davos conference, Elon Musk said that basically within our lifetimes, at the end of our lifetimes, robots will outnumber human beings.
Yeah.
And then they kill us all.
But
3 times,
my whole life, we have been worried that robots were going to take over the world.
Well, look at all the movies. Right. Now, will AI ever be able to come up with original thought, or is it going to always just be regurgitating data that it is collecting?
I don't know.
That's
it's just combining things that's already out there.
Will AI be able to finally let us have flying cars?
No.
Well,
it is impossible.
After they get a hold of and finally nail down self-driving cars, which, as we've talked about before, they're pretty close to.
Then we should go flying car, right?
So You're right, exactly. Then you can get somewhere that much faster. What you're referring to, the technical term is artificial general intelligence, AGI.
Mhm.
And that's what OpenAI, that's what Elon, that's what all the AI companies are actually striving for. Just as a definition, it's a theoretical form of AI that possesses the ability to understand, learn, and apply knowledge at a level equal to or exceeding human capabilities.
I would say exceeding.
Exceeding.
Little scary.
Well, it's
that's-
also scary how late it is.
I'll be moving off the grid soon,
Yeah.
so it's not going to matter.
Well, before
really.
we
I like
before
air
we hit a
conditioning.
quick break, Drew, I do believe that
All right. What is whose version? This is Paul
Paul
McCartney.
McCartney.
It's not the Beatles.
Well, they say it's your birthday, Drew.
It's your birthday.
Yeah, it is.
Today's your
It is.
birthday. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a
48.
it's been a day.
46.
Some in that
Yeah.
neighborhood.
I thought
in that
so.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Well,
Basically, I just worked today.
happy birthday.
Well, it is Wednesday.
Thank you.
Would you like a cookie in honor of your birthday?
I tell you what, during the break, I'll get a cup of
Okay.
coffee and
Perfect.
I'll get a cookie.
Perfect.
And
All right.
Millie gave me a fantastic pie. I'm looking forward to getting a hold of sometime
All
between
right,
now
well,
and tomorrow.
We'll take a
An hour and 40 minutes.
we'll take a quick break. Hear a little from either the terraplane, either terraplane or the Marchutes.
Whatever you choose
I don't even
tomorrow.
know. Yeah, whatever I'm in the
Yeah.
mood for tomorrow.
And then we'll
Yeah.
come back with our passage. But now I'm counting the days that I've loved you. I'm counting the days that I've loved you. I love you still. All right, we're back with our passage. And as the guys mentioned, it is my birthday, January the 28th. And I did not realize this till my dad reminded me of it this morning. But 40 years ago today was the Challenger space shuttle. And it did not, as soon as it took off, there was this tragedy. It
Was it
blew up.
17 seconds? Do I remember reading that somewhere maybe? Into flight?
Something like that. Those of us who were in school at the time, that would be everybody but Patrick, probably.
I was not 1 year old yet.
You're not 40?
Yeah, but I hadn't hit my first birthday yet in January of
Oh, okay.
'86.
So you're just barely 40 years old?
I will be 41 this year.
Well, 40 years ago
Just
today,
a child.
January 28th,
73 seconds.
this
Okay.
space shuttle Challenger took off, and those of us who were in school were all watching it because there was a teacher on the shuttle for the first time in history named Christa McAuliffe. And, you know, my teacher got us ready for this. This was baked into the curriculum that year. This is Christa McAuliffe. Here's a video of her talking about what she's going to do, and let's study space exploration. And she was all over the news, and everybody was excited about this teacher going into space.
They had
And we
brought
were-
us all into the cafeteria to watch it on this old tube TV that they had set up. And I mean, you could barely see it, but I can remember sitting on the floor watching it.
I watched it in my classroom on one of those
Yeah.
setups that Tim was describing in the last segment.
Was she
That's
not
what it-
one of the first civilians to go into
I believe
space?
so, yes.
Maybe the first one.
Probably the first, and then for a while the last,
Right.
until
Mhm.
Katy Perry went.
She never went.
She went somewhere, but it wasn't to space.
So we were all watching it live.
Mhm.
I don't think there was a delay on it or anything. And so all these kids that were invested in this event watched this shuttle explode inexplicably before their very eyes. And I remember that. I didn't remember it was my birthday, which is weird.
Yeah.
but I remember that.
It was like some statement they made, like power up or something, right? And then
It
you
went.
just see, you know,
And I
it-
remember the
I can-
pattern of the
I can see the
explosion.
pieces moving off to the side.
Yeah.
And then I remember just a very quiet thing, and the teachers saying, we're going to go back to class now. And it was just awkward.
Another thing I remember about seeing it, and of course I've seen it several times since then, but I think I remember this from when it happened, is at first the crowd applauded and you heard shouts of joy as people thought something was happening that was supposed to happen. That maybe that was like warp speed or something where it exploded and it went into space or so. I don't know what, nobody knew what to think at first. The last thought in their minds was that this space shuttle exploded right in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, so this was several shuttles into that program, right? I mean, I was just thinking about like, so this was what, 86, right? And so, you know, it had been a long time. And I know that like during the Apollos, there were some problems, right? There was one, I think, that caught fire on the,
that was the
what do you call that?
25th mission of the space shuttle program.
The 10th
on the platform.
The 10th of
on the
Challenger.
platform, right?
Yeah, one of the it was like Apollo 1, I think, maybe. And they hadn't even launched. They were just in the capsule. I think they were even doing a training thing. It wasn't even the launch of it. And I think something about there was too much oxygen in the capsule, and there was a spark, and oxygen burns.
Right. But yeah, I mean, this certainly, like in my lifetime, this was the first one that resonated with me, and I was a sophomore in college. As being it was just not something you expected, right? Everybody's looking up at it. They're like, well, I didn't think the rocket boosters were coming off that way or something like that. It's like, what's going on here? Not that it's a tragedy.
Yeah.
That's happening. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, if you've watched a shuttle launch, I mean, the boosters fall off the side and it keeps going. So maybe initially the reaction was, oh, that's supposed to happen, like you were saying. I mean,
and we're talking about reacting in seconds. I mean, first few seconds people didn't understand, and then it began to dawn on them what was really happening.
Right. And then there was the thought, like, and I think we were talking about before the episode started, when Millie was in here earlier, right? We were talking about, the capsule maybe coming apart. I remember that there was like initial hope. Well, maybe that happened, and that where that explosion is not where they are. Right. And then it became more and more obvious.
Yeah. It was terrible the way it happened and what happened. So we kind of want to remember that tonight. And our passage comes from Christa McAuliffe, the teacher that we lost 40 years ago. And she said this in an interview, I suppose, when somebody was asking about what she did. And she said, "I touch the future I teach." So to her, teaching was touching the future. And that's a really good way of putting what teaching is all about. You teach young folks, and you teach them knowing that you're going to be gone more than likely before they are. And so that's your gateway to the future. You're investing in something beyond you. Tim and I read John Maxwell, and he has that book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And one of them, I think, is the law of succession or the law of legacy, something like that. I may be conflating two laws, but the idea is that the best leaders leave a legacy behind. They don't plan on being the only leader for their organization, their family, their church, whatever it is. But they know that one day the world will have to do without them. So they make sure they leave their knowledge and their expertise and their experiences behind by investing in other people. And if you're some of us get really proud and we want everything to depend on us. And that's very selfish, and that shows that you don't really care for your organization that you lead or the people that you lead. Um, Others are more generous, and they see that the world is bigger than themselves, and so they teach, and in so doing they touch the future.
Probably everyone in some position has said at some point, you're going to miss me when I'm gone, that kind of idea. But this is just the opposite of that, right? It is, while people will remember you fondly, especially for being, someone who teaches others and pulls them up along the way, the measure of doing something well is to have others in your place and trained and ready to do the things and even to do them better. And because it's not just you, it's 100 people you've taught or something.
I think that's the coolest thing about being a leader at work. I mean, John Maxwell's a leadership guy.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing to me about being a leader at work is oftentimes you're teaching someone something where, from where you've come from. You've come up through this function or this thing, and the law of succession, or I mean, all leaders should be training other leaders. And there's that whole like you're not a leader until you've made another leader.
Yeah.
And at work, in our leadership stuff, they take it a step further. You're not a leader until you've made another leader who's made another leader. And made is the wrong word, but I'm having trouble with the words right now. But I like the thought here of, you're teaching somebody something, you're touching the future, but you don't really know where that future starts or stops, really. I mean, hopefully it starts kind of now as you're teaching them, but after you're gone, where does that education you've provided go? Hopefully far into the future, and people carry on your teaching for a while.
Yeah, and that has to be part of the education, right? Is teach them to teach others.
Right.
And I think you see that in the Great Commission that Jesus gave his disciples: make disciples and teach them to observe all that I've commanded you, which includes make disciples.
One of the coolest things about being married to a teacher is you get to see some examples of this over the years. Get the button ready.
Oh,
the censor button ready.
Oh.
When you've been married to somebody who has been teaching for you start to see some of these links to the future come back. So in the last 4 or 5 years, the school system here in town has hired at least 3 people that I can remember off the top of my head that my wife taught in first grade.
Wow.
And a couple of them have told her that it was the way she did her classroom played a big role in them growing up wanting to be a teacher. And that's a really cool thing, because those people are going to teach children who hopefully they inspire to want to come back and teach. And then, so just by being kind in the classroom, doing a good job, being involved in children's lives, that creates a new batch of teachers who's going to keep passing that down. And it's kind of like playing that game, however many degrees to Kevin Bacon. You're eventually going to have generations down where you can trace it back to that first teacher. That's right.
To Miss Pullum.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's really been a cool thing. And it's one of my favorite things with Ms. Pullum is she teaches first grade, or taught first grade. She's not taught in the classroom in 5 or 6 years because she's moved into more of a specialist role. But it's being out, and these giant, huge adults come up and they'll go, "Are you Miss Pullum?" And she's like, "Yes." And they're talking about, "Hey, you taught me in first grade." And it's just one of those cool things to see. And that's what she's talking about. You don't know the impact you're having on the future when you're teaching people.
Right. With this quotation, you mentioned the word inspire a minute ago, and I had written that down, right? That great teachers inspire. And one of the things they do is they inspire you to be lifelong learners. It's not necessarily about the nuts and bolts of question 23 that they were teaching you.
Show your work, Tim.
Right, of that particular, concept or that point in history or this literature. But most of all, what they teach you is to love learning.
Yep.
And I think, the really great ones, what they do is, certainly they teach their course of study, but they inspire you to be learners.
I think that's, hopefully all teachers' goals, right, to teach kids to be learners, but the good ones in my life have also taught me how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, okay, here's a mathematical equation or here's a sentence. Can you diagram it? But truly taught you how to dig a little deeper on your own in a way that sticks with you, because, once you get out of high school, and if you go to college or not, you in high school and in just grade school, you kind of a little bit have a hand that's holding you the whole way for the most part. As you get toward 12th grade, that hand gets further away. But once you get into college, like the real world slaps you in the face. And if you don't know how to continue learning, college is hard. And you get into these advanced concepts, and the professors and instructors, they're in there to teach, and they go back to their office and see you next week kind of thing.
It's more of an information dump.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That you then have
what we're
to
talking about in this.
That you then have to retain and regurgitate on a test or apply in some other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been, since I was in high school, it's been more than 40 years. But I can still remember some of my favorite teachers, and some, there would be days sometimes that they would say, just going to talk about this, right? And so it wasn't a lesson on the subject necessarily, but it was, it was advice about college, or it was advice about, now when you get out of here, here's where this is headed, or
life
something.
lessons.
Some
Yeah.
life lessons, right? And it's just, I respected those so much because, it was, you could tell when a teacher did something that was going that next step beyond just what they had to do. Those were the ones that were special.
Yeah.
Right. And, that they had a sort of a secret sauce to, you were learning some things about life as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought this was a great quotation for tonight, and I'm glad Dad brought it to my attention so that we could honor Christa McAuliffe on the 40th anniversary of that tragedy. I don't know. We probably wouldn't be talking about her tonight. She said that before the tragedy happened, of course, but we probably wouldn't have been talking about her if that hadn't happened. Right. So in a way, it increased her influence even more and stretched her out into the future. Who knows how long? But we don't, probably longer than this podcast will be available. But it is available now and will be up for a while. So it's best you subscribe so that you can continue to know when new episodes are available. And tell your friends to do it. We're up to 80 subscribers.
On the YouTubes.
That's pretty good. We could do a lot better.
Yep.
We know more than 80 people.
We do.
Yes.
Like 82. It's not
with
many
the four.
more.
When you put the four of us
together, we're good. Yeah.
So some of you are out there listening, haven't subscribed yet. You can go do it now.
It's never too late to subscribe.
And YouTube is really easy to share on your social media account. So you just I realize the podcast platforms they're just kind of wonky about.
They're also a little
links.
harder because you're Apple Music, I'm Spotify, so I can't share it with you on your platform in the same way you can with
Yeah,
YouTube.
and you put it on Facebook or whatever, and some people that don't do that particular platform will
Yep.
think, this is too complicated. I don't want to deal with that.
But everybody does the YouTube.
Right.
Yep.
Everybody can click a YouTube link. It'll go to their browser or whatever, their app, and they can see us immediately. So spread the word. Help us out a little bit. We do this for free.
Literally.
All we ask is that you help us spread the word.
Well, and for cookies and snacks.
Well, yeah,
That's true.
we do eat food
That's true.
that is given to us. So,
Live and on air.
Yeah.
yeah.
Look, if you want to make us a snack, we'll review it. We will start a snack review
It'll
segment.
be an honest review, though.
It will be a very honest review.
So it better be good.
Have some thick skin.
yeah,
There's pretty good food critics in this room.
yep.
Sure. Well, thank you for joining us. That's all we got for tonight. So stay tuned. There's more to come on Passages.